Greetings in the best of salutations. That would be peace. That would be power. That would be prosperity. Yeah, some challenges that one has to have. One has to deal with, and what I mean by challenges, I mean that the being on demand. I think something I want to get and share what Booker T. Washington shared. I know I'm moving about. That's okay. You know, it was talking about something about a position. If I can locate it here. See if I can find it. Booker T. Washington expressed his best in speaking about success. I've learned that success is not measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he or she has overcome while trying to succeed. Let's look at that for a minute, if I may, before I put this book down. The talk of the day is it's basically about not only how you measure or quantify, even qualify success, but the what's the problem? What's the problem? Because I realized that that the problem is an obstacle, and I think someone says that you see the obstacle, or when you see an obstacle in a way is a problem because you have lost focus. And I realized that one's aim is accountability. Excuse me. Yes. So what's the problem? It is lack of accountability, or who one should be accountable to and responsible for. Is it the individual, the collective? When it comes to humanity, what's the problem? I think one brother, I think Dr. King made mention to, when we go beyond the confines of our own individual concerns before the concerns of the greater humanity. So it sounds like you want to bring out the best. It's for the best of humanity. There's the problem an identity crisis. There's a problem as I come to include that people suffer from the value of self-worth. But as Booker T. Washington said that when it comes to success, he says, I have learned that success is not to be measured not so much by the position. So, talking about one's status, the position one has made. It's like one wants to live a decent life. And then one has transitioned from living a decent life, but yet his position makes him or justify him or her to act indecent. Accountability, Life is to be enjoyed, but yet is to be lived responsible. Accountability. Yeah. It's like the language says shata or sin. To miss the mark is a lack of accountability. It's a moral culture decline. It's called recidivism. Lack of accountability. That's what many probably is deprived of. You see, in the society where people are very successful in their endeavors, making a lot of loot, as they call it, a lot of money, living in lavish homes, fabulous lifestyle. But yet there's something, seems to be something wrong. And maybe because I'm looking for the wrong. Or maybe it's a fallacy, not based on nothing. This of seeing something or looking and trying to find something wrong when maybe it's right. For, the privileges and the luxuries of few while many still suffer. Maybe that's right. But I'm convinced today that that's not right. However, one's status in life becomes elevated, while the majority still has been devalued, and that life is, and they have been not have elevated. And elevation does not necessarily mean material success. People want to be encouraged. They want to be properly motivated. And seems as though that when you don't fit in, you become socially invisible and ostracized and even isolated. You can have all the material success in the world. People has had it, and they still didn't know themselves. They still felt all alone. Is that on them, or is it the culture of the climate of the society? Says it's not enough to talk about the beggar, but be more concerned about what produces the beggar. And I come to learn to know that the beggar to me is one that you come to offer something to someone, and that what you come to offer that person says he or she cannot use what you have to offer. As a result, that person can start to feel isolated, lonely, and useless. If he or she is not strong enough, you see, in his and confident enough in his ability and strong enough in his mental capacity to withstand the arrows and the darts that is being thrown at him or her. You know, people want to contribute to social harmony. You know, they want to be contributed to social harmony. Yes. So what's the problem? You know, what's the problem? Yes. Is it a identity crisis? You know. There's someone that says that everything affects the mind, conditions the mind. That is the nature of the mind. Einstein says that the problem, the one that problem that was created, that the problem that is created at the same level of consciousness in which it was created, the problem won't get solved. Two things I think was given to us as humans in this existing known world, reality, is reason, you know, and intelligence, the intellect, you know, intelligence and intellect even, distinguished between the three. But the more important is the good common sense, you know, and to be very considerate and thoughtful to me is intelligence, you know. So if anything that it needs to be addressed is one's aspirations, you know, that which is we're talking about true revolution. Revolution, of course, is a re-evolving. Is the I can say an African principle, if we want to put it that. I don't know. Not trying to put any ethnic label on it, but you know, is the it is the accomplishment of being, you know, is a resolution of accomplishments. You know, yes, and ain't nothing like being a resolutionist. Yes, yes. There's many things that the mind is unable to sustain when it's able to withstand when it comes to that which affects the mind, conditions the mind. Yes, and this is the nature of the mind, you know. And the haru, or the bird and the wings, want to be free, you know. The mind, that we're talking about this transformative power, you know, and not to be held hostage by anything or anyone, you know, material, whatever it may be, you know. It could be very held bondage by being very dogmatic. Yes. And no book, no words that is written is stronger than my mind. And we have to face the fact that that must be true. Nothing that no one says or do to you is more stronger than your mind. The battlegrounds is ideological, the war is psychological, and it deals with who has the power to persuade when it comes to one's philosophy. Oh boy. We need to develop this new perspective. You can't put new wine and old wine skins, they will burst. It's just talking about developing a new perspective on life. is the risk that ones take when the old, having always has to accommodate the new insight into a new perspective. The consciousness needs to be raised for spiritual guidance and willing to deal with this weird reality and that we are living in is a challenge. And I say the challenge is feelings of inadequacy. Am I good enough? Are you lovable as you are, as I am? There are things that are sophisticatedly happening, and people are being successful due to what they call one's color, which is, it's very superficial. Due to the fact of how it is being used, and you have like you may have the first time a black person who have achieved, but the thing is that the achievement is in the accomplishment being resolute. And let's go back to Booker T. Washington when he says that I have learned that success is not to be measured, not so by the position that one has reached in life. That is not to be measured by success. Nor when it comes to you judge a people and you interact with people based upon, and you admire them based upon their material success. That is really unjust. That is the sickness. That is a problem. That is the sickness of the society in which we live, that has greater influence on the minds of people. I'm telling you, man. It is so sick. It is so sick that it's subtle. It is a subtle sickness. And that it is creating not only a hostile environment, but it's creating these three illnesses: mental suicide, emotional homicide, and spiritual genocide. It is cutting through the life force of the civility of the soul of humanity. Yes. Sick, man. It's putting people in, it's socially isolating them, ostracizing them, and they feel invisible. And then they will show. They will become visible. And how they become visible is that they will try to compensate for the feeling of inadequacy and a deep-seated feeling of insecurity. So they become obsessed with acts of violence, crying out. So the call is to emerge constructive thought and constructive praxis to align the right thought and the right actions. They must line up and they must serve to complement each other. So we are here when it comes to the existence of this society is to align ourselves and to complement each other. Man, I think Dr. King said we must not allow the means by which we live to outdistance the ends for which we live. Minimize the maximum Instead, we're supposed to maximize the minimum to unimproved ends. This philosophy is an explanation of a phenomenon of common occurrence. I like the song or the title when the rapper said there's something like a phenomenon in terms of purpose to serve, rather of the cause by which they arise. Philosophy. We must get to the root cause, and this is because every desire, I think, is valid. We must deal with the reality, and truth is the cause that affects one's reality. See the purpose and the ends. This is philosophy and theology. See the ends rather than the cause, making the outcome the actual or the final cause when you see things in terms of teleology. You explain actions by their results. In a data-driven society, seems as though that in this society, in the academic world, they give you the lesson and then they test you. Creation is a test. Then you learn the lesson. You get the lesson. And the test is designed to see how you process information. So I say this, what is the problem? It is the manner and the way in which we must adequately cooperate and properly communicate. And when you do so, you'll be able to effectively coordinate the power that's in. When I mean the power, I mean the physiological and psychological adjustment of realigning constructive thought. Yes. And bringing everything. When I mean everything, I mean we come to know that the earth grows together. You know, they call that the Asa, bringing everything to the forefront of your mind. You know, the unity, you know, because unity is stronger than conflict, and oneness is stronger than diversity. You know, it's the strength, the oneness. Everything is the Ta'i, because everything is supported by a system. Yes. Yes, and we living in a system in this country in which I'm residing is made up of laws. You know, come to breach, but to amend or correct that which was incorrect. Amen. But oh man, the earth grows and fire glows and air blows and water flows, and the spirit knows. And the spirit knows. So we must come to understand this when it comes to solving the problem. That everything that affects the mind, conditions the mind. That is the nature of the mind. Common humanity mission, promoters of the value of self-worth, communicating with precision, clear image to the world through these 5 channels. Also 5 components of the maturation process, the 5 channels: understanding, tolerance, temperance / temperament, confidence, and respect. And the mandate is to cultivate the light of knowledge that's in us all, or that be the potential of knowledge that is in us all. The seed is the potential is the seed. May it be cultivated in fertile soil. And may we all be granted success for our labor and joy for our sorrows. Until next time, from the heart, Reverend Walimu Kevin, teacher of teachers, preachers of preachers when it comes to reverence. Talk to you.